All right, so you're watching the Rocker Life on the newly launched Rocker Life YouTube channel, and today I have with me a very handsome, very articulate man. He's too mean to die, and he's back on the Rocker Life. Mr. Philip Shouse, how you doing, man?
Yeah, Aaron, good to see you.
Coming at the whole, coming at the YouTube sphere. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I love the new addition. I love the new curtains, the new lights in the back.
Thanks, man.
It's a nice look. It's a nice look.
I was referencing our previous chat about the Blues Brothers. I was going to say coming at YouTube sphere live from Bob's Country Bunker. You know, being
both kinds of music.
We got both kinds of music. Being that I'm in Kentucky, you know, and announcing it and all, I can probably get away with saying that. And if I said we have a Bob's Country Bunker here, that people would probably believe it.
Yeah. Tonight, the good old boys, Blues Brothers band.
So, man, what's new down in Nashville? I noticed that the Mutt merch seems to be doing very well. You're sporting. We're sporting the Bones and Noses shirt.
My Bones and Noses shirt tonight. Yeah, pretty much all last year was working on that. No, not really a whole lot to do on the music front. So I put my time into that, building the website up. I'm getting new products and for a relaunch this year. So new sites up, new products, and exciting things are happening. So,
well, man, I'm loving the Eddie Kramer behind you. I think that looks great, and it's just bittersweet, but it looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to just congratulate you on the success of Too Mean to Die, the new. Of course, we're talking about the new Accept album.
Thanks.
Yeah, man, this is and I was just telling you as we're about to get started, like just what a ball breaker this thing was. And I think I said something similar about the Rock and Roll Residency EP. Gosh, this thing. And I was sort of, you get busy because I do most of this stuff either on my breaks from my regular career and then in the evenings and everything,
mm-hmm.
right? So I'm like, I'm going, taking everybody behind the fourth wall here, but I was getting some stuff done, and I was looking at new things that I wanted to cover and try to get some attention on, because
mm-hmm.
the great thing about doing this is I can kind of pick what I want to cover and what I want to look at and talk about and everything.
Yeah.
And so I started to listen to Too Mean to Die. And I mean, just from track one, it was like, oh my gosh, like this, it's just this, because I'll be totally forthcoming. Growing up, I've been more of a casual Accept fan. I mean, I've known some songs, I've known a few albums, but I think this is a huge compliment. Like this album has me wanting to go back and explore the entire catalog, because I feel like I have I have missed out on something. So it probably makes me look shallow in my knowledge of metal, but at the same time, it's like
you can't know everything. You're always gonna find new stuff, and some bands that I never listened to them for whatever reason, and then you hear a song and you really you dig it.
Yeah. Man, first off, I want to get to some of the things have been charting just crazy, and I want to get to all that stuff. But first off, let's talk about I noticed that this album was produced by Andy Sneap, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's done he's done every one since Mark joined the band, which is back in 2010. So he's done, this is fifth one, I think, to do.
Okay. Well,
so they've had a good track record. So it's like, well, don't fix it.
Yeah, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what Well, so I know Andy Sneap. Andy Sneap kind of came into my life with Firepower, specifically the Judas Priest album Firepower. And then of course, stepping in to fill in for Glenn Tipton as Priest toured. And that's how I've kind of come to know him and develop respect for him, and watching what he's done and everything, and specifically with just the sonics and the production of Firepower. And I mean, and this one has blown me away in a similar but different way, similar, possibly like, I guess I would say a similar vein of metal. But so many subtle differences, and just, I don't know. It's just, but great production, suffice it to say, just incredible.
Yeah.
Production.
It's crushing. He's kind of the Rick Rubin of like legacy metal bands, because he'll come in and, you know, he knows how to bring out the classic elements of whatever band he's working with. You know, he's done the latest Exodus album. He did that. So he's worked with them, but kind of the same thing. He's good at doing that, but also making it, you know, you're not making a throwback record. You know, you're not copying anything, but he knows how to bring those elements in and make it, bring it into the modern sound, which it would accept is still has the elements that they had, you know, back in, I think Firepower brought a lot of that back for Priest. Except never really lost it. Like, except when, like, their first one with Mark, Blood of the Nations in 2010, if you haven't heard that one, you gotta listen to that one. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I got that when it came out. So I've been a fan of the band of, you know, the new lineup as well. Or the Tornillo fronted lineup.
Yeah.
And, that one's great. And they've always had those kind of elements of Accept. It's still the same guys writing, still Wolf, you know? And, so it's what's very cool about the band is they've held on to that.
Well, so you're playing in this sort of symphony of guitars on this metal masterpiece here.
Me and 3 guitar players.
You just can't get away from that, can you, man? What was talk to me about what it was like to you know, to because this is, I know you've toured with Accept. This is the first album that you've been a part of recording, right? So talk to me about your contributions and sort of how the process worked, and just, you know, walk us through that.
Well, we were lucky enough to be able to, like, get together, the Nashville kind of folks, because 4 out of the 6 live in Nashville.
Yeah.
Of the 6 members of the band. So we were lucky enough to get together. We even had Mark was able to fly down twice before the lockdown or the really tight quarantine and restrictions. And right when they were letting up, he got to fly back down.
Okay.
So we were able to kind of be together and record. And Andy was virtually, he was basically on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
With better audio. So he could hear us tracking live, so he could actually produce in real time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like everybody on their own sending back and forth. And so it was like, it was, you know, it was different, but it was more like, you know, making a regular record, you know, kind of like that. So it was great. I was really nervous my first day, my first tracks. But no, they were great. It was really fun. And what 2 better guys to make a metal album with than Wolf Hoffman and Andy Sneap. So I took direction and did executed to the best of my ability what they suggested. So it was really great. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I'm in an interesting position because we've talked a few times, and I know a lot of your influences, and of course we've done the classic rock rundown on Toys in the Attic, and you know, so I'm familiar with a lot of that. But let me ask you this. What was it like for you? Because you've always been a fan of this style of metal. I mean, I know, you know, going from Aerosmith to Kiss, Van Halen, that type of stuff. And I believe Priest was in there too. And bands like that. So was there any adjustments that you felt like you needed to make as you approached the recording process for Accept, compared to what the last, say, 3 years of your career has been like, where you've been rooted in, say, like a classic hard rock?
Yeah. It's a good question. I tried not to lean so hard on that stuff. Like, I didn't want to make it like super bluesy, you know, not like really blues rock.
Yeah.
But, you know, Accept is kind of the bridge between AC/DC and Judas Priest.
Yeah.
So they've got this kind of rock and roll element that they've always had. They still have this kind of swagger, and you know, you can, you know, kind of like actually like kind of shoulder, you know, it's like you can move around to it. It's not like robotic metal. So it really does fit my style of playing pretty well. I try to, like, I guess, I don't know how to put it, like metal it up a little bit, kind of. Yeah. But you know, like, because, you know, Wolf is from that era. Like, Wolf's the guy.
Yeah.
He's like the real deal
The
metal
OG
player from that era of metal.
Yeah.
So it's cool because you can tell me and him on the record. Like, I'm not going to tell you what I did and what I didn't, but
sure.
you can kind of listen and go, I think that's the other guy. I think it's not Wolf. Yeah, I just tried to throw some different flavors and maybe play a little bit faster than I normally play. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was fun. And it's super challenging too. It's always a challenge to play these songs precise and play them right.
Well, I as a just sort of a side note segue here, I was going to tell you that I just myself got everything firmed up, and I'll do kind of a quick plug for Rockin' Pod in August of this year. It's coming up in Nashville. So I hope you're there. I mean, I hope for your sake that maybe you're out touring and working if that's what you want to be doing. But if you're not, I hope you're there, because a couple of your bandmates from Accept are going to be there, and I haven't been through the list to see who all that is, but I do know that a couple are going to be there. So
I think Martin and Christopher are going to be there. So if I'm there, probably leaning towards I'll be there. But yeah, I'd love to. If I'm here, I'm there.
Well, that means I got to track down one of those limited edition green. Like, was there a splatter green vinyl? Wasn't that the?
Man, there was like 10 different variations of that.
There was
like
okay.
So many. Yeah, there was a lot. I got two. I can't think of which ones. I think I got a green one. I got a kind of dark green one.
Okay.
And I forget the other one that I got, but there was so many. There was like a green splatter, and like that was like the VIP box you could get, like had signed stuff in there, and I had a gatefold, had a pop-up snake.
Oh wow,
which was really cool.
That's awesome.
I would have liked to have got one of those. That was a good idea.
That's it sounds like then it was sort of similar to Ace Origins 2, because I didn't get to talk to you really, I don't think, when Origins 2 came out.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like it was kind of similar to that, where there was several different variations of the vinyl. So that's
people love that. And they it works, it's fun.
It's fun. And I mean, well, that's good for me. That means I should be able to find some before. I haven't got this on vinyl yet. I've just got it on just digital through the iTunes store. And while I say iTunes store, let's dig into that real quick, because I don't think it's fair that I've got you on here and don't boast about the album's accomplishments. But as far as, and I'm looking over here so that I can make sure and recap these correctly. But as far as digital charting in the iTunes store, out of the top 200, we're talking about, okay, US out of all genres, number 8, metal number 1, rock number 2, UK rock number 2, Japan rock number 6, Denmark, all genres number 3, metal number 1, rock number 1, France rock number 1. I mean, and everywhere it's like, I don't want to, get redundant with everyone, but I mean, Australia, all genres number 8, metal number 1, rock number 2. I mean, it's like that across everywhere that was listed there for the iTunes store. Deezer, top 300 US, all genres number 7, which to me in some ways is even more impressive than the all genres and the other, because that's a top 300.
Yeah.
But then for Apple Music, I mean, it's like Germany number 2, Spain number 5, Sweden number 2, Norway number 1. It's like, it just goes through all these countries, and I'll stop there, because there's a couple that, frankly, given my dialect, I'm afraid to try and pronounce. But man, that's just incredible. What do you think it is about? What do you think it is about this particular release? I mean, I know what sort of appealed to me, what caused me to, from looking at it to knowing, I knew you were involved, and just different things. So I know kind of what made me want to, look into it and dig into it a little deeper. But what would you say has caused this mass appeal of the album across the marketplace?
Yeah, I don't know. We were really proud of it when it was finished. When we listened to it, everybody involved in it was like, this is pretty good. This is really cool. And everybody really was happy with it. And we have a really, really great team behind it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of great promotion, and we were all making content, we were all doing interviews and all this stuff, and all that is great, but if the fans don't like it, then it's all for naught. But so whatever it is, and if I knew what it was, I'd form a group and be a manager and
bottle it up.
And yeah, exactly. Whatever it is, you never can predict it, but it just felt like it was, I don't know, for some reason, it just felt like, even though we weren't really doing anything last year, but we cut it, we all felt good about it. And it felt like there was momentum building, even, just by the great team behind it. The promo team, the management team.
Well, I can tell you that for myself, answer me this, because I've been listening to this in the car specifically as I've done things. We've got a track here towards the end of the 11 tracks. It's instrumental, right?
Oh, Samson and Delilah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. And I'm not the most like instrumental track kind of guy. And I found myself listening some more. And before I realized it was an instrumental, I was halfway through the track and I'm looking up going, this is good. And so, I mean, it even had that effect on me, which it surprised me that it had that effect on me, because I'm not that guy.
Oh, good.
To pay you another compliment, and I'll stop there, because then I'm going to start to look like I'm going fanboy, and I'm not supposed to be in a podcast or whatnot.
That's a cool one. That's kind of that was connected with Wolf's the Headbanger Symphony project that he did, which is actually how I got involved in the group.
Because I wanted to go back there real quick. So talk me through that, because that's something you and I have never had a chance to talk about, how you actually got involved. I knew that you'd been involved. I knew that you're friends with the guys and different things, and that you've been to Sweden before and stuff like that. But talk to me about that process and how that actually came around, that you became involved with Accept initially.
Yeah, my first thing was I went to Wacken with them in 2017 and played Accept was headlining one night, and it was a show divided into sections. It was their first time with a symphony orchestra. So when they played, Accept played 30 minutes, just Accept. And then the symphony thing played for 30 minutes with the symphony orchestra. So that was me. I was involved in that. And that was just classical music, like Mozart, Vivaldi, things like that.
And that was at Wacken?
It was at Wacken, yeah. There's a DVD of this too. It was released. 2017 Symphonic Terror, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, I got to check that out.
And then after that, Accept came out and played an hour with the orchestra. And Accept music works really, really well with
yeah, I'm sure.
And so previous to that, Wolf had done a solo record called Headbanger Symphony, where he took classical pieces and arranged them for a 4-piece metal band, 2 guitars, bass, and drums, and symphony orchestra with riffs and guitar solos. He kind of made the electric lead guitar one of the solo instruments in classical, instead of just a flute or an oboe or a violin. He's doing it. It's Wolf. It's a guitar. It works great. So we did that at Wacken. That was the only time that I thought that was going to be it. And then I get a call in 2019 to do a full tour of Europe and Eastern Europe. It's called the Symphonic Terror Tour. We were going to play with a different symphony in each city that we were in. So that was half classical pieces, half Accept songs. That was my first time playing Accept songs. So at the end of that tour, it went so well. Like the shows went great, and I fit in well, and we all got along. And everybody is a great organization. It really is. It's a tight unit with good people, very well run, and it was a lot of fun. So when we were done with that, he asked me if I wanted to join.
Oh wow!
Said, yeah, like I'd love to. I think I told him I was hoping he was going to ask me to the dance. So I was happy to it. And then he said, "Well, we're adding you. We're going to be 3 guitar players." I was like, "I've got experience with this.
I've been down
I know how it works." Yeah.
Well, man,
that was it. I just kind of like came in, and I was a fill-in for these shows.
Yeah.
I was going to go away, and they wanted to keep me around. So luckily.
Well, man, that's great. That's a really cool story. and again, a really cool album. Let me just a couple last things, and we'll leave it here. What any for yourself, and maybe if someone were to ask you, hey, I heard you've got a new album out, what would what if there were tracks that someone wanted to check out that you were going to recommend to them, what would be some standout tracks that you would throw out there?
Overnight Sensation. Yeah. I love Overnight Sensation.
It's a good one. Yeah.
I'm probably Symphony of Pain, and probably Too Mean to Die, the title track.
That one, I love that title. That title really caught my attention. So yeah, man, those are all good ones. I can verify, because I think I've been through it. I've been through it at least 5 times. I'm coming up on half a dozen. I'm about to join the half. I'm about to join the half. Nice. About to join the half a dozen club on Too Mean to Die. But well, man, what's well, just let me ask you this, and what's next for Philip Shouse and for Accept?
For Accept, I'm not sure.
Well, that's okay.
I'm not sure what's happening.
Is anyone sure of anything?
No one knows shit anymore about anything. Yeah, we're just kind of waiting around. Like, I've begun personally kind of knocking the dust off of playing heavy, fast guitar, so just to get used to doing it. Yeah, as far as any shows, I don't know. Everything's kind of getting pushed again, so who knows. I just started a new project. We have a date booked, but I can't announce it yet because it hasn't been announced by the venue, so I'm holding off. But
okay,
it's a Beatles themed project. It isn't a cover band or a tribute band where we do the wigs and stuff. We pardon the pun, but we reimagine the songs. I really didn't mean to do imagine.
That's okay.
That's what we do. So we take Beatles songs and we do the vocals, but everything else we change to where it's like they were a 70s rock band that played Les Pauls and Marshalls.
Wow. Okay.
So
that's really cool.
You can't really take the whole catalog, but we've picked out choice tunes, and we're building a set list, had a couple rehearsals, and it's really, really, really cool.
Well, I don't want to interrupt, but can I ask? So, of course, and for a lot of people that if they don't know, I would like them to know about this anyways. But it's Monica Llewellyn, right? That you guys do the Beatles brunch, I think it's called, on Sundays. Yep. Some Sundays. Yeah,
we've been doing some Sundays at a place here in town, and then also we do some live streams just from her place, and it's just me and her doing acoustic. And I'm a bigger Beatles fan than I am anything else in life, probably.
Yeah.
And have been since I was like 10 years old. So that's pretty much my longest obsession.
Well, I sent you I sent you the picture back in October that I got my son the Please Please Me vinyl for his birthday. Trying to be a good dad. But aside from bragging on myself, is Monica going to be in the project, the Beatles project, with you?
No, not with this. I had this idea like 5 years ago, and before, because I just met Monica last year, and this is because we kind of did this at the residency a little bit. We picked some songs and kind of just played with more muscle, and it sounded really cool.
Yeah.
So it's me, Jeremy Asbrock, my friend Mike Vargo, and Seth Timms on keys, and Keith Brogdon on drums.
Okay.
And so it's a 5-piece, and we're just kind of reworking them. They're recognizable. We're not like making them like like dubstep beats and shit. It's like we're not making them heavy metal. We're not making them like punk rock. We're playing them like they are, but just different.
Yeah,
it's really cool. So
dubstep.
We're called Fiendish Thingies, which is an extremely deep Beatles reference. If anybody,
good. Well, that's great, man. Well, listen, it's always a blast having you stop by, and I'm glad that I'm glad that I got exposed to this album, and I'm glad it gave me an excuse to talk to you. And then I'm also really happy for your success with the album, man. You deserve it. And
thanks, Aaron. We're all really pleased with it, man. It came out and just started. People's reaction to it made us all real happy. So,
well, again, no, man, my pleasure. Again, everybody go and Mutt merch is just at muttmerch.com, right?
Muttmerch.com. I've got Philip Shouse merch on there now and some other stuff. So have at it.
And if you want to, real quick, go ahead and recap any other socials so everybody can find you.
Oh yeah, I am with 2 E's Philip Shouse on Instagram. I'm not really ever on Twitter, so don't bother. I'm on Facebook, Philip Shouse, and I need to be better on TikTok. I've got a couple things, but it's a lot to keep up with. But
yeah, man, I tell you, I'm trying to figure like where does Aaron K fit on TikTok, and I haven't figured that out yet. So I want to keep working on that. In the meantime,
it's a thing. I spend a lot of time like, how am I gonna? What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lip sync the stuff. What am I gonna do?
I was listening to my kids were at home the other night and my son wanted to listen to Thriller. I got that for him one year for Christmas. So we put on Thriller, and I'm like, I don't have a TikTok account yet, and I'm listening to like PYT, and I'm thinking maybe I could do like Michael Jackson bass covers on TikTok if I could work that.
There you go.
I don't know. Like, what do you do? So I got to keep working on that. But regardless though, I really hope that, however touring turns out, I really hope that we get Rockin' Pod pulled off this year. That'll be there in Nashville. And if you're in town, I expect a picture and then got to put your mark on my accept vinyl. And probably some other ones. And probably some other ones too.
Yeah, if I'm in town, I'll definitely be there for sure.
Yeah. Rocker Nation, Philip Shouse, always a blast to have you, man. Thank you for coming today. Everybody, you are doing yourself a major disservice if you don't go by in some form or fashion, except Too Mean to Die was released late January on Nuclear Blast. And thanks again for being here, man. I hope that
anytime, man. Thank you.
We have an excuse to talk again soon. So,
yeah, I'm sure we will.